Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Walsh. I am the chair for the Advisory Commission on Charter Schools, and it is my pleasure to call this meeting to order at 9:30. And on March 12th, 2020, Governor Newsom issued Executive Order N-2520 related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The executive order allows state bodies covered by the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act to hold public meetings covered by the act via web conferencing and audio conferencing. Today's ACCS meeting will be held via the format of video conferencing and audio conferencing, and the meeting will be broadcast live and can be accessed through the ACCS meeting broadcast. During commissioner deliberation today, I will call on each commissioner by name. Feel free to use that raise hand feature in Zoom if you wish to be recognized to speak, and make sure that your computers are muted at all times unless you are speaking. All votes today will be taken by a roll call vote. Members of the public who wish to make public comment, you may dial 712-770-4917 and use access code 467-9071 # when prompted to call in for a given item or for general public comment. Upon dialing in, callers, you will be added to a queue, and the operator will notify you when it is your turn to provide public comment. Public comments will be limited to 1 minute. Members of the public who wish to dial in for public comment should view the live stream of the meeting. The number and access code will be provided before the start of public comment for each item. Prior to making public comment, speakers who are watching the meeting through the live webcast should make sure the volume on their computer is muted to avoid echoing or feedback sounds during the call. Now, we will go ahead and move on to the flag salute. And since I have the honor of hanging out in the nation's capital at American University, I will go ahead and lead the flag salute this time. So if we could have the picture of that flag, that would be fantastic. And yep, it was almost there, and it's back. So ladies and gentlemen, if you could please rise, please, and just join me in saluting the flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah. So, joining me are the commissioners, who I will ask them to each share their name and who it is that they represent. So let's begin with Commissioner Fazul.
My name is Andrea Faisal, and I am representing charter school teachers.
Thank you, Commissioner Faisal. Next, let's go with Commissioner Jones.
Good morning, Erica Jones, and I'm representing teachers.
And Commissioner Garbalina Mojica.
Good morning, my name is Gail Garbalina Mojica. I am representing county superintendents.
Commissioner Austin.
Good morning, my name is Jared Austin, and I'm representing parents and guardians.
Commissioner Taylor.
Hi, Matt Taylor. I represent charter schools.
Commissioner Farland.
Good morning, Stephanie Farland. I represent the State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurman.
Commissioner Sever.
Good morning, this is Wesley Sever. I represent superintendents.
And I am Mike Walsh, and I represent governing boards of school districts. At this time, let's move on to item number 3. I will accept, I'm looking for a motion for the adoption of our meeting notes from the April 2021 ACCS meeting. Is there such a motion? Thank you, Commissioner Garbalina Mojica. Is there a second? Second, it sounds like Commissioner Taylor. We'll do that vote once again. Commissioner Fazell.
Aye.
And then Commissioner, let's see, I've lost track of there we go. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Garbalina Mojica.
Yes.
Commissioner Austin.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
I will vote aye. And Commissioner Farland.
Yes.
And Commissioner Sever.
Yes.
Thank you. So we have passed unanimously. All right. At this time, members of the public who wish to make general public comment should call in. Please use the number 712-770-4917 and use access code 467-9071 #. if you wish to make a general public comment regarding an item that is not part of the ACCS meeting agenda. Again, if you're calling in for something that is not part of the agenda, now is the time to call in at that number. At this time, we'll move to item 4, Charter Schools Division Update. So Stephanie, please take it away.
I'm on mute. Okay, thanks, Mike. I have just a short update today. I just wanted to let folks know that our first round of sub-grantees for the charter school public charter school grant have been notified. We have 14 sub-grantees, 14 different charter schools who will be receiving planning and implementation grants. We're very excited about the group of schools we have this year, and once everything gets signed and on its way, schools can start submitting their reimbursement requests for their grants, and we're very excited. We're on time with our grant this year. It's obviously our new round of grant, 2020 to 2023 grant, and then we will run a second grant in. We're shooting right now for September, where we'll open up another round of grant funding. So we're very excited that that has moved forward, and so that's sort of an update on the grant. We have a lot of exciting schools in the grant round this year. And other than that, we will not have any appeals for the September meeting. The deadline was June 1st. And so we did not receive any new appeals for the next round. And so there will be no appeals on the August ACCS meeting, September State Board meeting. The next deadline is July 29th for the November meeting. I would be surprised if we got any appeals. It seems late in the year for appeals to be coming in, and we would have some issues about the petitions expiring June 30th and not being heard till November. I suppose there could be some late ones coming in, but I've not heard of any. So as of right now, we will not be hearing appeals through the September meeting. And I think that's it for the updates at the moment. Thank you, Chair Walsh.
Thank you. So at this time, just a little update that today we will be hearing only one item. This item is a funding determination request from Mack Community Center. At this time, we will take public comment. And again, I want to open up public comment for general items that are not on the agenda. Speakers will be given, we will take the public comment now, and upon dialing in, callers will be added to a queue. The operator will notify you when it is your turn to provide public comment. And again, public comment is limited to 1 minute per speaker. And again, this is for any of the items that are not agendized. So if you have something you want to talk about with regard to the Mack Community Center, then we'll set aside a specific time for that. For now, this is an opportunity for anyone from the general public to share an item if they would like. So, are there callers on the line?
Yes, Commissioner, we do have some callers on the line for public comment.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, caller. Please state your name and affiliation for the record to provide general public comment. Your time will start now.
Hi, my name is Lily Parsons, and I'm calling from the Mendocino Unified School District. I have 2 children in that district because for an appeal for Casper Creek wasn't part of today's meeting. We really are hoping that it's heard and to hear why it would not be. My understanding
I'm sorry, caller, we're kind of losing connection with you.
I'm sorry, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and add some additional time to the clock.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm so sorry. We're wondering why Casper Creek Learning Center was not included in this meeting, because we're not to continue. So we would love it if you would address that in your meeting today. It's a treasurer of the school. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. A number of us have IEP kids in this school that have taken years to set up. It's a beautiful school out in the forest, and we're hoping that you will address the reason the appeal wasn't included in today's meeting, because it's very important to a number of our children. Thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
And before we take the next call, I want to just address that request. And as a member, since we are a body that is operating under the Bagley-Keene Act, we are not allowed to address anything that is not an agendized item. We're happy to hear the comments, but we will not be able to address those comments at this time. So we will continue with public commentary. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next caller, please state your name and affiliation for the record. Your time starts now.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Janelle Ruley, and I'm an attorney with the law offices of Young, Minnie, and Core. We're legal counsel for Casper Creek Learning Community. Casper Creek should have been the first abuse of discretion appeal that ACCS was to hear, and it submitted on time to be scheduled for today's meeting. However, before ACCS could even hear the appeal, the department staff stepped in and made a unilateral judgment that Casper Creek did not have authority to appeal its charter denial by the local district and county. The CDE provided its conclusion on the last day when the agenda for this meeting could be posted, 2 months after the appeal was submitted. The new legal requirements for abuse of discretion appeals under AB 1505 contain a lot of procedures for the charter schools, for the district, for the county to follow. Importantly, the statute says that ACCS shall hold a public hearing to review the appeal in the documentary record for all appeals. The law does not give CDE authority to deny an appeal before it even gets to ACCS. The word shall is mandatory in law. Casper Creek is extremely disappointed that the law was not followed and that its community was denied an opportunity to appeal what we believe were unlawful denials.
Time. Thank you, caller. At this time, Commissioner, that concludes all of the public comment calls that are in the queue.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we will move on to item number 1, consideration of request for determination of funding as required for non-classroom-based charter schools pursuant to California Education Code sections 47612.5 and 47634.2 and associated California Code of Regulations. People wishing to make comment on item 1, you should call in at this time. To make comment, dial 712-770-4917 and use access code 467-9071 pound when prompted. So at this time, we will have the CDE, our department, give an update, and we'll move on. So, CDE.
All right. Good morning, Chair Walsh and members of the Commission. My name is McKenna Healy, representing the Charter Schools Division, and I will be presenting today's agenda item. So this item consists of a regular request for determination of funding by MAC Community Charter. Okay. So as a reminder, Senate Bill 820 made changes to the funding determination process for fiscal years 2020-21 through 2021-22. This impacts charter schools that have an active funding determination that expires on June 30th, 2021 and 2022. So specifically, this bill extends the deadline for non-classroom-based charter schools to submit funding determination renewal requests from February 1 to June 30th. So pursuant to this bill, non-classroom-based charter schools that submit a complete funding determination request by the June 30th deadline will receive their current level of funding for 2 years. Charter schools that submit a request after the deadline will receive 85% for 2 years. And this automatic renewal does not apply to charter schools that do not have a funding determination that expires on June 30th, 2021 or June 30th, 2022. Okay, so as previously stated, this item consists of a regular request for determination of funding by MAC Community Charter, which is a combination school that offers both classroom-based instruction and non-classroom-based instruction. So a charter school is considered operating as a non-classroom-based charter school and must submit a funding determination request to receive funding for its non-classroom-based instruction if its total average daily attendance is less than 80% classroom-based. So if a charter school's classroom-based ADA does not fall below the 80% threshold, a funding determination is not needed to receive funding. MAC Community Charter had an approved funding determination of 100% from fiscal years 2016-17 through 2017-18. However, the school did not request a renewal of its funding determination at the end of its approved period. As this school does not have an active funding determination, it does not meet the automatic renewal requirements of Senate Bill 820. So this item is thus presented as the school is requesting funding for its non-classroom-based instruction beginning in fiscal year 2021-22. So the requirements for a charter school to receive a recommendation for 100% funding for its non-classroom-based instruction are provided on this slide. MAC Community Charter did not meet the requirements for a recommendation of 100% funding. Although it spent more than 40% of its public revenues on instructional certificated salaries and benefits, it did not spend more than 80% of its total revenues on instruction and related services. As such, it qualifies for a recommendation of 70% funding for its non-classroom-based instruction. So upon the CDE's review of all information submitted by the school, the CDE proposes to recommend that the State Board of Education approve the determination of funding request for MAC Community Charter at 70%, which is the funding level that was requested by the school, for a period of 4 years. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your consideration of this item, and I'm happy to answer any questions the commission may have.
So let's begin there with clarifying questions. Again, just to clarify if there's any misunderstandings or questions about what has been presented so far. If you have deeper questions, then we'll save those for after the public comment. So at this moment, do any commissioners have any clarifying questions for staff?
So I wanted to clarify, McKenna, is it unusual for schools to have funding requests and then not need it or not request it and then come back and request it again? Is that an unusual practice?
No, it's not unusual, especially for combination schools that are confident that they are not going to fall below the 80% threshold for classroom-based. It's not required for them to submit a funding determination.
Okay.
So we do seek out.
Thank you. Any other questions? And seeing no hands, then I will move on. Thank you, commissioners. At this time, is there any public comment for item number 1?
Yes, Commissioner, we do have a call for public comment.
All right, well then we will take public comment now. Upon dialing in, callers, you will be added to a queue. The operator will notify you when it is your turn to provide public comment, and your comment is limited to 1 minute per speaker. So please begin.
Thank you, Commissioner. First caller, please state your name and affiliation for the record to provide public comment for item 1. Your time starts now.
Good morning, ACCS commissioners. My name is Kaina Collins, and I'm a veteran charter educator representing the California Teachers Association. CTA would like to express our continued concerns with the funding determination process as outlined in our letter. CTA believes that this process cannot be a mere formality or done in a perfunctory manner, as some have stated in the past. CTA also believes that there must be heightened oversight and transparency regarding these charters given some of the egregious past practices. While the most famous example of this is the A3 charter school scandal, A more robust review process would likely either identify other bad actors or at least cause others to be wary of similar business practices that we saw from A3. Currently, there is a moratorium on non-classroom-based charters, and CTA believes that during this time, the funding determination process and regulations should be overhauled. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. At this time, Commissioner, there are no additional callers in the public comment queue.
Thank you very much. So, commissioners, do you have deeper questions now? Anything that you want to ask the CD staff? Any more questions or comments for us? Commissioner Austin.
I'd like to move staff's recommendation.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
I will second that. This is Wes Sever.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Austin, and we have a second from Commissioner Sever. Any further conversation or discussion or questions? Seeing none, we will go ahead and take a vote. So the motion at this time is to move forward on the staff recommendation. We'll begin with Commissioner Austin. How do you vote?
Yes.
And then Commissioner Farland?
Yes.
Commissioner Fazell?
Yes.
Commissioner Garbelina Majica?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Sever?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
And I am Commissioner Walsh, and I will also vote yes, which means the motion passes unanimously. And at this point, move my script right where it belongs. That's what I thought. Thank you for your service today. Meeting is now adjourned. Please stay safe throughout the rest of the summer, and I will personally avoid all the cicada attacks. So, see everyone after the summer. Take care, everybody. Thank you for your work.